And we're back. Welcome back to the ACC, guys. I'm Mike.
I'm Steven.
That's Steven. And we're here to talk about the ACC Championship, the good old matchup between Clemson and UNC. Also, towards the end of the video, we're going to cover bowl predictions 2.0 because we screwed it up the first time. So, we'll just pretend it didn't exist, right? Going into the matchup, though, how are you feeling about it there, Steve? What do you think about this big-time matchup?
I feel like this could be a shootout. This could be one of those where it's going to be a back and forth contest in the ACC championship game. We have two teams that are definitely not what they thought they were going to be a few weeks ago. Clemson thought they were going to have a shot at the college football playoffs. North Carolina even at one point thought, hey, we beat Clemson and we could maybe throw our name in there. And now it's a game where either team wins, you're going for a chance for an Orange Bowl, but college football playoffs is too far out of sight now. So it's going to be one of those situations where I think that the defense for North Carolina becomes a really big factor in this game. They have Clemson at -7.5 on the game. And so even the experts think that it could be one of those where it's a shootout and it's kind of close. And honestly, it's hard to trust Clemson right now and their ability to be able to close out the game, because early in the season, this was a team at one point. Remember, I'd reported that they were outscoring their opponents by 140 points in the fourth quarters of games. And now it's completely flipped. And they're the ones that are struggling and often getting outscored by teams that they're even beating, but they're just getting outscored in the second half. So this is a Clemson team that the turnovers, that's 2 weeks in a row now, has been something that's hit them hard. You have, Miami just couldn't capitalize. They turned the ball over against them multiple times to start the second half and just was trying to give them the game, it seemed like. And they come up against South Carolina, and the second half was the same thing against them. They multiple turnovers again, which gave South Carolina a chance to win. And ultimately, the last turnover gave South Carolina a chance to go ahead and seal the game and walk away with a 1-point win. These are things they got to clean up. You got to clean up that. Clemson doesn't get penalized a lot, so at least they got that going for them. But North Carolina's going to have to watch the penalties when they get into this big game.
Yeah, it's also, but got to give props to Clemson's staff, letting people know that they actually watched the Little Giants, because that's the only way you devise that play at the end with that punt return, straight out of the movie right there. Jesus Christ! But no, I mean, what I saw in that game kind of made me a little bit more excited about the championship, though. Because at first, before these past 2 weeks, like even after watching UNC lose another game, I was like, well, I mean, it's not there right now. Like Clemson could end up just stomping them, which it could still happen. They could right the ship and do that. But after seeing what Spencer Rattler did to that Clemson defense, Drake May is definitely a better quarterback than Spencer Rattler. So if Josh Downs and them can get going at receiver, which we know they can, this could be a shootout. I mean, DraftKings has the over-under at 63, which, I mean, that could easily, I think they could easily hit that between these two teams. But, I mean, because North Carolina's defense, they do everything but carry the ball into the end zone for you. They just, watching them play, you constantly hear like the line from the water boy, like, oh, and there he goes, he picks the ball up and dusts it off before he runs it in for a touchdown. Like, that's what it feels like watching North Carolina's defense play. So it just would, for me, it's just, I can't even pick it with Clemson being a 7.5 point favorite. Like, I can't even really pick that, because it could be a blowout because North Carolina's defense can't stop them, and Clemson gets just enough stops. But then again, Clemson could just turn the ball over a bunch because it's just what they do. You know, DJ could just make bad decisions, which we've seen out of him all year. And it's kind of weird to see. I don't think the ship is sinking at Clemson right now, but this year is definitely a turning point. This is 2 years in a row now that we've seen this with Clemson, and they're paying the price for it this year. And definitely got to see what they can do. But I mean, as a Clemson fan, are you kind of hoping that your offense looks lackluster again, just so there can be changes made? Like,
I don't think everybody ever wants to go to a game and lose.
yeah,
Unless you're a Miami fan, then you congratulate the other team for beating you. But no, it's one of those things where I think for Clemson, like you said, the question marks going in this game for them is going to be, is Shipley 100%? Can the workload be mostly carried by him? Because he is the heart and soul of that team. And if he's not out there offensively, they are going to struggle. Even against a bad team like North Carolina, they're going to struggle. And there could be a point where that'll just give North Carolina's offense a chance to keep the game close. If Shipley's healthy, give me Clemson and the points. Because if Shipley's healthy, North Carolina's defense is not stopping him. And you're going to need more than a storm duck to be able to slow him down. You're going to need some actual defense, and you got to play as a team and a unit. But as far as North Carolina's concerned, I mean, you have to get Drake May going. Georgia Tech set the blueprint. NC State ran it. And Clemson, they have struggled this year, but don't think they're not a team that can't run the same blueprint that everybody else has put out there for the last 2 weeks on how to beat North Carolina. And they'll run the same thing, and they'll try and beat you the same way too. And for North Carolina, they're going to have to give Drake May time, and Downs has to stop dropping the key passes that he's been dropping lately. He's going to have to find ways to win in coverage, which I think he will. I don't think there's a defender for Clemson that can cover Downs one-on-one. And, honestly, for Clemson's pressure and the stunts that Georgia Tech and NC State was using to work, Clemson would need to blitz some. So there could be situations where someone's going to be one-on-one, and I just don't think that that's a matchup that they're going to be able to win. I think Downs wins that every time.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's such a good talent. And, I mean, there's some freshman talent on that North Carolina offense, too, at wide receiver. They're big. They're physical. So I just don't see – I really don't see those corners winning those battles. And, I mean, it's really going to come down – like, in my opinion, it's probably going to come down to third down. You know, obviously, these receivers have to step it up on third down if its offense is going to stay on the field, if it's going to score, and keep up with Clemson, because you know your defense isn't going to do it. And this is a Clemson defense that only allows 34%. And a UNC offense that converts at 46.5%. So it's possible they can do it, but it's really just as good on good in that sense. And that's going to be an entertaining part of the game. But honestly, for North Carolina to win this game, I kind of feel like it's just going to have to be their defense taking advantage of bad decisions, bad play calling, bad decision making. Whatever happens with Clemson's offense in this game, UNC's defense has to take advantage of that. If honestly, I feel like if they can't do that in this game, then I mean Chiswick needs to start finding another job, because North Carolina needs a new defensive coordinator if they're ever going to win an ACC championship or even have a shot at a national championship.
Yeah,
at any point in time.
Because you need that defense going to win a championship.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, with that being said, points-wise, since this is the only game we get to pick this week, maybe we'll do a bonus and do the over-under as well. But let's go ahead and take the picks here. I'm going to go ahead, even though it's -7.5. That half a point seems so tricky to me. I'm still going to take Clemson in the -7.5. I'm going to feel like Dabo gets them to bounce back. after an embarrassing loss to a rival. And I honestly just think the Clemson defense gets enough stops. North Carolina's defense just probably doesn't get any, especially if Shipley's healthy. I think this is a game where they'll run away with it with Shipley run the ball. So, crucial part of the game, and that will determine a lot of it. But even without him, I think the physicality of DJ, if you use him more in the run game too, it's going to be a long day for North Carolina. So I like that. And when it comes to the over, honestly, the 63 points I think is really good for an over-under. I think it's a good mark to put for this game.
Yeah.
It could be a shootout, but I think that's about how many points it would score, because I could see this being a final of 37-30 or maybe 38-33 or something like that. So this is one of those games where it could be close. So I can see where I would go ahead and probably take the over still, and maybe they just barely cover the over.
Yeah. I mean, I alluded to it earlier. I'll definitely like points. I'm taking the over. And definitely, I would actually take the over on North Carolina team total. Like the team total points is at 26.5. Give me that if I was actually a betting man. But yeah, I don't see Clemson covering 7.5. If this is 6.5, I'd take Clemson just because, like, well, maybe this is probably going to be a touchdown game, right? Neither offense is really going to get stopped. And to be honest with you, as far as like pulling the team back together, did they really do that? Like, did Dabo get this team back playing again since the Notre Dame game? As you alluded to, Miami. They made the same mistakes. Miami just could not capitalize on it. They just didn't. Their players just weren't capitalizing on it. Plain and simple. They didn't do it. So Clemson just kind of has stumbled their way through this last part of the season, and we haven't seen that much of an improvement. And honestly, it's probably not going to make that big of a difference. So that's what I'm going with. That's what we got for the ACC championship game. So just to make it a little bit interesting, you got the over on Clemson covering the points, laying the points, and I guess we both agree that these teams together are probably going to do more than 63 points. So I'll take that.
Okay.
But
I mean, other than that, I think it'll be a great championship game. Like I said, alluded to before, if we're under the next year's format, it would be Florida State versus Clemson right now for the ACC title game, which the way FSU is playing at the end of the year and the way Clemson's playing, I'd have to believe that if that was a matchup, FSU would be favored over Clemson in the title game.
Yeah.
I'm not saying by much. I'm saying that they'd probably be a 2 to 3 point favorite.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be like Clemson 2.5.
I don't know.
I think they would get the bump just being Clemson.
That's a possibility. But I just think Vegas, looking at the way these teams are rolling, you know how Vegas is, and Vegas would probably favor FSU because of how much of a roll they're on and how much Clemson's rolling, especially with the turnovers. Vegas doesn't like that.
Yeah. Give me the hot hand on this one. All right. So before we move on to the next part of the show, I know there's part of the show that you're really looking for. Well, he opens up that drink. # not sponsored, but that could be your bottle that we're opening. Just saying. But go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, leave us a comment about what you think about the game, or once the game's over, just let me know how wrong I am. But it's fine. I'm good with that. If you're on any podcast, go ahead, give us a review. Leave us a comment on there as well. Be super fine, super cool of you to do that. Now, we have the bowl game predictions. This is 2.0 because we learned our lesson. All right. First time, that was just a run through. That was getting some stuff out there. Clemson doesn't make the college football playoffs. So now we got to go back and do this again because it gets a little bit interesting trying to figure out who's going where. So I don't know how you feel about this, but let's go ahead and start with the Fenway Bowl because that might be the only thing. Well, actually, we agree a lot more now. So We had the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. It's a ACC versus AAC matchup. We got Syracuse going there, um, which isn't a surprise. I think I was already kind of leaning that way. I think I had them going to Military Bowl before, but it's not a bad game. Not a far travel. Their fans dedicated. They can travel a little bit well, so
Yeah, I think this
I
is
think it'll
only
be a
one
good
of
one.
two bowls I didn't change. I'm pretty sure it's the
Yeah,
one of two I didn't change, and I think it's pretty solid. Syracuse to the Fenway Bowl. It makes sense location wise. Obviously,
yeah,
it's not a far travel for them. They can bring some fans, especially against the AAC team, which isn't going to draw as many fans traveling unless you pick a team that is close in proximity as well. So I feel
yeah,
like that for that bowl, Syracuse makes sense when you got to take an ACC team. There's somebody that's close by. They'll sell you some seats, and Syracuse trying to get the 8 wins after, like I said,
yeah.
a great start to the
Good.
first part of the season and the second half where they finished 1-5. So they are definitely going to be looking
Yeah,
for a bowl game and a chance to end on a high note. And
yeah,
so that would, like you said, that's both of our picks for the Fenway Bowl. Now, when it comes to the Military Bowl, that's our first difference that we have. I was actually struggling with this one. I had a couple teams here, and
yeah,
ultimately I went with Wake. I feel that Wake is a good fit for this bowl. They're one of the teams in ACC that do not travel as well as some of the other ACC teams. So because
yeah,
of that, they do tend to play in some of these smaller bowls like this because people see other opportunities to sell seats and sell
yeah,
brands with other teams. So even with Wake being good like they have in the last couple of years, your wins really don't have as much to do about it as your brand and what your fans will bring to travel. So I think that Wake is a good fit for the Military Bowl, and it
yeah,
works out for the bowl committee.
yeah. No, it's not a bad reason why, but I kind of feel like Duke for kind of a similar reason. Duke fans do travel, but this is football. Duke fans don't travel for football. It's already basketball season. They've already counted this out. No matter how good the team's doing. I don't know if you watched that game this past weekend, but I mean, for once this season, Miami could actually puff their chest out because another team had less fans there. Uh, but and Duke won that game. It's just not a whole lot of support there. That's something close by in Annapolis. It's not that far of a drive, and you're probably going to have some alumni somewhere around the area. It's a pretty good matchup, and I think it'll be a good matchup with whatever AAC team that's there. Maybe it is one of the service academies. Um, so any one of those would be perfectly fine with me. Now, our next one, we do actually have an agreement here. It's the Holiday Bowl, the San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl. It's an ACC versus a Pac-12 matchup, and of course, we both agreed that UNC would probably go here. You know, they're probably gonna have another loss by the time the championship's done with. But I think they match up well against a Pac-12 team. Neither one of them like to play defense. I mean, honestly, I don't know if anyone in the Pac-12 know that you can sack a quarterback or
Yeah.
go after them. And North Carolina matches up well with that because they can't do it anyways. So it's gonna be high flying. It's gonna be a little bit of fun. I don't Not sure if I would think like if I was gonna guess at who they would match up with, probably wouldn't be Oregon. Like maybe Oregon State or something.
It could
One of
be
those
Oregon.
teams. Oregon. It
That,
could be
that's why
Oregon
I
though.
Yeah, that's why I put North Carolina in the Holiday Bowl. The matchup could be Oregon, and honestly, I think that would be a good matchup. That's Drake
Yeah.
May versus Bo Nix. These are two outsiders for the Heisman that no one really had them on their list, but towards the end of the year, a lot of people were hyping both of them up, and I think down the stretch, it's just too much of the guys at the top showing why they were the guys at the top. So. Uh,
Yeah.
but ultimately, that would be a great matchup. I mean, North Carolina, Oregon would be fun to watch. A lot of people think that North Carolina's defense, it would be a shootout, but Oregon probably would have the advantage. I'd have to agree. Oregon's defense would be a little better. But
Yeah.
this is also in the Pac 12, even as bad as North Carolina's defense has been, they've been getting better at getting pressure on the quarterback. Now they finally got some key guys back from injury. And this is an Oregon team that they only faced a team once that went after the quarterback, and that was against um, Washington. Everybody else in the
Yeah.
Pac-12 doesn't really rush the quarterback. I mean, Bo Nix has only been sacked 3 times all year. I mean, you want to see some impressive numbers. Go look at Pac-12 teams and how little quarterbacks get sacked in that league. It's ridiculous. And
Oh
it's not
yeah.
just all based off the offenses they're running. A lot of it's based off the fact that this year in their conference, they don't have a lot of guys that go after
Yeah.
the quarterback and get sacks.
Yeah. Somebody tweet that at Joey Galloway, so he has another conference to complain about how they don't play defense. 2 yards in a cloud of dust.
I'm about to say he's too worried about his 2 yards in a cloud of dust.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, if that was the matchup, that'd be fantastic. I mean, you do have to wonder like who's actually gonna like does Bo Nix actually play in a bowl game? Like he's probably gonna sit out. But then again, he could play in a bowl game because I don't, I don't know
Yeah,
if you sit out if you're going to be a 5th rounder or lower, if at all. But it'll be nice to see. The next one we also agree on the Pinstripe Bowl, and we kind of gave our opinions on this last time with Pitt. It's not that far. Those fans will travel just well enough, and it's in a good area for them. And I think it matches up pretty good, and it's a Big Ten team, which Pitt will match up pretty well with. I'd be excited to see it.
I agree. Our reasoning has not changed for this game. And honestly, this is one of those I was curious about. And when I looked at other people's predictions, we're actually spot on. Because I'm always curious after we have a power ranking or something come out. I'm always curious to see what other people are doing. And almost everybody is in agreement. It doesn't matter how crazy everyone gets with their predictions. Almost everybody in the country believes Pitt's going to this bowl. So,
Yeah.
so we all are in agreement that it is something. Everybody has the different reasons, but most people do agree. Location, and that's what I've been
Yeah.
preaching in the first video, and I'm still preaching is the location of this bowl is perfect for Pitt. And this is what they need to be able to, have a good matchup against a Big Ten team. Like you said, they match up well against a Big Ten team. Run the ball, play defense. That is something they would love to do. Throw the ball very little and have a nice low scoring, battle it out kind of game. And with the Big Ten teams that are going to be available, that's what they're going to get. Because let's face it, Ohio State and Michigan are going to be in the college football playoffs. And so, I mean, that means that you're going to be facing the third team in the Big Ten in one of these bowls, and then the fourth team and the fifth team. So, I mean, you're not getting the best teams they have to throw at you. So this is a good shot for Pitt to go out and finish strong and get another win and a good bowl. Now, next up is the Cheez-It Bowl. Now, here's another one where we differ on. This is where I put Duke. I think Duke has proved enough that they're going to get a better bowl this year. They're a good story this year. That's not a bad location for them bowl-wise. They do have a good following. Even in football, they have enough fans that would go to a game like that and watch them play. And against a Big 12 team, that's a great matchup for them. So that could be a fun battle out, mid-scoring kind of game because I think Duke's defense is good enough to keep it from being a complete shutout or shootout, So, and it could be Texas Tech. I'm hearing a lot of rumors that Texas Tech will be the team that a lot of people like for that bowl game.
Jesus.
So,
Yeah.
a Duke Texas Tech would be a perfect matchup. I think those two match up really well.
Yeah. Oh no, that definitely matches up pretty good. My pick for that was actually Louisville, and mainly because I already had Duke down there, and I didn't feel like either one of us needed to make the dad joke with the Mayo Bowl. But I think there's a good spot for Louisville as well. I think Louisville can play a Big 12 team pretty well. I think Malik will finally get to show off some of that skill if he plays in the game. I mean, honestly, it's just it would be entertaining to see. And Louisville fans, they're going to move around a little bit. They're going to have some fun. So, moving on to the Mayo Bowl, before I have to bring up the fact that you weren't pitching the pinstripe for Pitt because you didn't have Pitt in the pinstripe in the first time. Anyway,
Actually, I did.
but no,
We both did.
no, that's okay. I'll add the clip right after you say that. But no, in the Mayo Bowl, we both got NC State. It's an ACC Big Ten matchup. I mean, it's kind of the same reason for Pitt, right? NC State kind of has that same similar style to a Big Ten team, and maybe they can get a little bit healthy, so it's an entertaining game. I mean, if anything, if Finley's got plenty of experience now, let's see if he can light up a Big Ten team. Like, I mean, it'd be kind of fun to see. I mean, it's not North Carolina's defense, but you never know. Maybe like in Illinois or something could be kind of fun.
Yeah, if it's Illinois, it could be a good low-scoring defensive game, and that's the kind of games NC State likes. But I agree with you. I got NC State just like you do in the Duke's Mayo Bowl, hanging out and having some fun against a Big Ten team. Like you said, it's going to be a situation where with Ohio State, Michigan State both going to college football playoffs most likely. This is going to be one where I solidly think that the NC State is going to get a good matchup here. Like you said, probably Illinois. It's hard to tell in the Big Ten because, I mean, after the top two teams, I mean, it's a mess of teams that they could pick for the bowls. So, I mean, there's no telling who you're going to end up with.
Yeah, outside Penn State, they're actually in the top 10 as well. And their only two losses were the other two teams you're alluding to. But yeah, I mean, outside those three, I don't even know who's going where or if it even matters.
Like, I was going to say, at that point, it probably doesn't even matter because they tier it. So, I mean, really, they could take a team that's towards the bottom of the conference that qualified that they just think matches up better in the bowl. So, but for NC State, like I said, playing a Big Ten team in general, that is a good spot for them.
Yeah.
Now,
great spot.
As far as the next one, Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, man, I really like Louisville to go to this bowl game. I think that they match up well against the Pac-12 team with their style of defense that they play. Offensively, they don't put the points that most people expect, but they have a crowd that would they would have some good following there, and I think that some people will get behind them because they're of it being Louisville. I think they can get good ratings for sure if you put them in a matchup like that. To me, this would be a good matchup for Louisville, and it's a good step up for them playing in the Sun Bowl because, I mean, this is a team that, at one point this year, people weren't expecting a whole lot from them, and they really poured it on towards the end and looked like a strong team. So I like them to go to the Sun Bowl and have some fun against the Pac-12.
Yeah, and I went with Wake here mainly because of the fact that I just think, once again, Wake matches up well to a Pac-12 team. That's just what they can do. I mean, I didn't have to make a whole lot of changes there on what bowls. I had to make a few, but that was one of the ones that stayed the same. I just like it. They got that high-flying offense. They play just enough, like an opportunistic type of defense. They almost play like a Pac-12 team at times. So I think it'd be entertaining. I think you can match them up with anybody in the Pac-12 that, is eligible for this. And it would just be fun. And it helps out the ACC and probably Wake's brand going out to Arizona like that. So pretty sure it's in Arizona. Yeah. So, it could be entertaining. I think it'd be a lot more fun. And as we move on, the next we have the Gator Bowl. And we're both in agreement here. My reasoning for picking Florida State to go into the Gator Bowl is they're undefeated there. I mean, come on. That's their place. That's their home. Away from home. Right there in Jacksonville, Florida. Plus, it's also kind of personal because I would like a chance to go to the game. It wouldn't be that far for me to drive.
It's true.
But I mean, it's in the footprint of Florida State. It's an SEC matchup, which Florida State's already beaten 2 other SEC teams. Why not put them against another SEC team? Which this could easily be a Tennessee or South Carolina.
I was
You
about to
know,
say,
yeah,
I think it's going to be if Florida State goes to the Gator Bowl. The reason why I like that is because you can match them up against South Carolina. I think Florida State, South Carolina, especially with South Carolina finished the year with those 2 huge upset wins, that would be a really fun game to watch. And you talk about high scoring. It could get high scoring between those 2 teams because let's face it, South Carolina's defense is an opportunistic defense, but
no,
they're not winning any awards for shutting down people. I mean, they're a
no,
team that still gives up a lot rushing. They're worse than the Gators when it comes to run defense. So FSU would be able to run the ball on them, and it would be one of those games like just like the Gators would be a shootout and be fun to watch. So I think
yeah,
that when it comes down to it, committee can look at that and be like, that'd be a good matchup. Even FSU Tennessee, same kind of format. I mean, it'd be a shootout game where
yeah,
it'd be probably whoever had the ball last would be the big difference.
yeah, and that's just really entertaining. And why not have that for your SEC matchup that you'll probably have? Because I don't see the ACC getting in any of the bigger, like any of the large bids or anything. Like I alluded to, I mean, it's possible Penn State probably gets one of the large bids behind Ohio State, but you never know. Uh, so the last one we have left is the Orange Bowl. We're both in agreement on this. We could have a Clemson Notre Dame rematch. Um, Maybe I don't feel as good about that now, having seen what the committee picked, like how they set everything up. Because I mean, Notre Dame's under Florida State in the rankings, so I don't know if the Orange Bowl picks up Notre Dame at this point. I mean, they might have a tasty like Clemson Penn State matchup or something like that. I think Clemson, obviously Clemson's going to go. That's a tie-in for the ACC. So, but the original pick here is Clemson Notre Dame that I did early on this week, and I'm not 100% on it, but that could possibly be the matchup because I mean Ohio State could easily go to the Rose Bowl, and who knows, maybe Penn State gets one of the other bids. ReliaQuest would be where they would end up if Big Ten didn't go to the Orange Bowl. So
I can see different scenarios here. I agree with you. Right now, I have Clemson playing Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl, but it'd be a
yeah,
great rematch game. And it's one of the situations where people forget Notre Dame has their own tie-in with the Orange Bowl. And in this scenario, it would take certain team in Alabama going to that large bid. But honestly, I think that now the way the polls, the way they did it, it looks like Tennessee has a shot at that large bid. They might put Alabama and Clemson in the Orange Bowl. I mean, that would be a fun matchup between the two. That's a possibility as well. There's a lot of good scenarios to create some great matchups in the Orange Bowl and in some other games because one of my scenarios also depends on the ACC Championship game. We got to wait and see what happens this weekend.
yeah,
If North Carolina upsets Clemson and North Carolina gets the Orange Bowl bid, I honestly think that could really cause some shuffling on some of these other bowls, and we might see a few changes to where people go. It'll also mean that Notre Dame will probably take somebody else's spot as well in one of the bowls we just
yeah,
mentioned before, which means some other teams are going to get dropped down to some of those smaller bowls that the ACC doesn't necessarily cover unless, those are the extra bowls that we send teams to if we have
yeah.
more
Like the
qualified teams. So,
yeah,
like I said, that would be the scenario. North Carolina upsetting Clemson would be a scenario where it would create some chaos for the ACC and for Notre Dame. Because remember, in the bowl picks, Notre Dame basically is an ACC team. So we have to consider them in the picks and in the bowls unless they get this
yeah,
Orange Bowl bid, which could still be theirs because they could get that over the conferences. I think the favoritism that Notre Dame gets, and they've gotten through years, um, for the years that they've gotten it, I feel like this could be a situation where Notre Dame could get it again and could still get in the Orange Bowl and get that rematch. It's a good game too.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be a nice little game there. I mean, tough loss there at the end by USC, but good Lord, Caleb Williams gonna get that Heisman after that game. That dude, I thought I saw Jordan Travis make some plays. Like I was trying to keep up with him.
Oh,
Could have done ESPN top 10 just off those two quarterbacks this past weekend.
It's going to be great. Those great games.
Yeah.
And on top of that, not only do you get to watch all these great football games, you can wake up extra early in the morning and watch some football when Team USA plays in the first game of the 16 rounder. So,
against
16 team playoff.
Yeah, good old Netherlands. We got to go after that. So, see if Pulisic put his body on the line there for that goal and the win against Iran. So that'd be nice to see. Always got to support that American soccer, soccer.
USA. USA.
Right.
People look so weird when they say it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't know. It's hey man, it's fans. All right. It's a sport that we only care about every 4 years. And then outside of that, we don't really know it exists. But
not true. When we're decent, I still like to watch us play, but last couple of years it has not been worth watching other than World Cup.
Yeah, right.
And then we didn't even make World Cup, so we couldn't even watch us play then.
Yeah, that's true. But pretty young team this year, looking pretty good. But back on to this, feel free to watch us or follow us because you're already watching us, obviously. But you can always do it more if you hit subscribe and make sure you get that notification bell as well. That way you are notified every time we release one of these things. Yep. Also, check us out on Twitter. All right. Our tags are right there by our names. At whom the four. You're pointing the wrong direction, bro. At whom the four are at SJollyACC. Are the actual ACC guys handle at ACC guys. That's at DAACC guys. I didn't come up with it, but I do have ridiculous names. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah. But yeah, I'll please feel free to follow us on there. Keep up to date with anything. Come check out my stream some point in time. We can talk some football on there too. In between raging of video game matches. You never know. So
all right, get y'all later.
Have a good night.